Keep your day job, folks. It's insanely expensive to start and run a company. We're going to talk about all of that. But just when you think, gosh, if I could just get into HEB. Oh man, if I could just get into Whole Foods. Man, if I could get a contract with the military. Guess what? I have all of those things. It doesn't matter. It costs money to promote, to invent, to stay current. Because the second you put something out, it's all about the next thing. For example, I've already shown my Christmas line for 2013. I showed it in January. Samples were due to the customer on December 22nd. You have to have the money to invest in all that future stuff before you can even, I don't even have the sales numbers for this year. But that's how your customers are going to think. So that's why keeping your day job is really important. We don't want anyone going broke. So now what? Do you have a plan? The plan isn't necessarily a business plan, because I actually have grown my whole company without a business plan. But I had a growth plan. And so what that looked like was, this is who I think my customer is, which I already told you, Neiman Marcus, hello. But then when Neiman Marcus didn't call me back, I still had product to sell, or I had an idea of products I wanted to sell. So do you have a plan, a growth plan? A business plan is also great. A business plan really helps put things together in terms of, have you thought it through, the money required, you know, is there a real target market, and those types of things. So I don't begrudge of business plans, but this is a little bit more than that. Have you assessed if there's a real need for the product? Again, not around your kitchen table, but for real. Have you gone out and really assessed if the world needs a salsa made from peaches? I don't know the answer to that. But, you know, these are the questions you really have to ask yourself. And that goes beyond a business plan. Can you quantify in dollars your potential market? This is really important because in bath and beauty, which I'm in, the market is $1 billion. Just in my segment, which is just bubble bath. That's not overall health and beauty, which is hundreds of billions of dollars. You know, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, all those huge companies are surviving on, you know, bath products and shampoos, and all of those things are lumped in, but I'm a very specific niche of that whole market. So you want to be able to quantify in dollars your potential market. This was a tough one for me, because like I said, I thought I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to be a high-end beauty brand that all the celebrities were just talking about on Oprah. And then I realized that is a tiny, tiny, tiny percent of the market, and I really couldn't make that happen. So, who is your real core customer? My real core customer happened to be, you know, people who had some disposable income, but weren't not necessarily spending all of it on $25 body lotion. We wanted to make sure that the products were accessible to as many people as possible for a price that made sense. And we're going to talk about pricing too. So understanding who your real core customer is very, very important. And be real about it. My core customer is not everybody in this room, although everyone in this room should be taking bubble baths. That goes without saying. But my real core customer is a woman normally 25 to 55, or it's grandmas who are watching their grandkids. You know, it's a very specific demographic that I go after. Even though everyone in here takes showers, so they technically could be buying my soaps. But that's really not what it's about. Yes, technically everyone could be a customer, and you always want to be ready to sell something. But really understand who your real core customer is. Do you have an understanding of your customer's demographic? So for example, when I call on Whole Foods, do I understand who their customers are? Who's shopping in those stores? What does that demographic look like compared to Kroger, compared to HEB, compared to Central Market, compared to Trader Joe's? How you figure that out is, which we're going to talk about that, you're going to spend time in the stores, but you're going to start doing a lot of research and asking a lot of questions. Because you might think you know the answer, but you'll be shocked when you actually find out what the answers are. You know, a lot of people think, oh, well, only the richies go to Whole Foods. I know people that scrounge together every penny they have to take a trip to Whole Foods. So it's not just, you know, the high disposable income demographic. They have a whole range. So understanding your customer's demographic is super important. Also, do they purchase your type of products? Again, everyone in this room should be buying bubble bath. We've already established that. But are they? So my question for you is, when you're out there doing your research, the type of products that you are wanting to come up with and sell, are they truly being sold at the places you want to sell them to? You know, a perfect thing for me was I wanted to sell into rice Epicurean. I had sold to them one time on a spot deal. It was an awesome experience, but I wanted to be on the shelf all the time. And it turns out I spent many, many, many days in that store just sitting in the cafe, hanging out at the salad bar, talking just casually to people, and it took me about 3 days of my time, cumulative, to figure out that is not my customer. I call them up, I say thank you very much, we've had a great time, but I'm not a good fit for you and you're not a good fit for me. The demographic's just not there. And that demographic shops in that store is not buying my product. Once you get over the initial sting, it's okay. Are you ready to do business with who you think you want to do business with? The number one thing I caution all of you on is make sure you're actually ready to do business with these companies. Not everyone is ready to start with HEB as their first customer. Believe me, I was not. They were not my first grocery customer, Whole Foods was. But you think, hey, I've got this thing going on, I've got it, it's good. They throw things at you every day. I said, sometimes, you know, we're just dodging bullets. And I've been doing business with them for a long time. And even yesterday, they come at me with some crazy thing. Like, really? We know each other. We're friends, I thought. So it's really understanding how they do business, and if you have the money that it takes to regroup. Because a lot of times that's the answer. They say, I love you, your product is awesome, we sell a ton of it, but I need you to make some changes to it. And oh, by the way, you need to reprint all those labels, and we need 4 no UPC codes. Is that okay? You're not going to say no. You hang up and you go, hey! I said, every day we have at least one oh crap moment. At least one. Some days it's constant. But you do get through it. And how you get through it is by understanding your business readiness. And what I say too, it's more than a product. This is a potential brand. This is my uniform for business casual. This is my dressy uniform. I have another uniform that's jeans and my Bubble Girl t-shirt, which is our logo. Everyone who works for me has the same uniform, so that people who see us in the stores, whether we're doing deliveries, you know, talking to customers, whatever we're doing, we're identified. We're identifiable because we are a brand. Everything we do is about being a good brand ambassador. Every single one of you is a brand ambassador.